let's drink wine. Hi, my name is Marissa Danforth, and today I'm going to be talking about my favorite book, Moto. I have read this book. I have also listened to this book on audio. So I'm going to do my review of my favorite book. Moto is written by M. Never. It is narrated by Jacob Morgan and... son of a bitch. No, the last name's Bloomingdale and Brooke Bloomingdale. They did fantastic. All right, so this is a love triangle book, and it is a bit taboo because the main characters, which are Dev, Reese, and Kayla. Devlin is his full name, but I'll just be calling him Dev because, well, I like it. So Devlin is a cardiac doctor. Reese is a professional moto racer, and Kayla is a nurse. I don't want to give away spoilers because I want everyone to read this book. So in this story, it starts with Kayla knowing Dev first because they both work at the same hospital. Now she ends up witnessing a wreck that ends up being Devlin's twin brother, Reese. So that's kind of how they all end up being in the same spot together. As the book progresses, they end up being in a love triangle. Now, getting into this, I thought it would be completely weird. I thought I would be uncomfortable. I didn't think that I would like it. But the way that this book is written, that's not the case at all. It just flowed so easily. It made it not weird and completely understandable. Her attraction between the two of them and just the way that their relationship develops. It's not overnight, and it is a progression. It's very slow. It takes months for them to get together, which I think is probably why I ended up liking this book so much, because it just wasn't fast paced. It took the time to really put together the whole story. So the progression of it is definitely like a slower burn, if that makes sense. Now, the chemistry and the attraction to them is always there. Throughout this book, Dev is constantly warning Kayla about how Reese is going to break her heart, or how no matter what in this relationship, she's going to end up with a broken heart because of Reese. Now, there's this huge mystery as to why that seems to be his prerogative on the whole thing, and it ties together and it turns into a huge thing. It's really well written on why that seems to be the case. And the subplots, like with her Aunt Sam, which they are really close. Sam ends up pretty much raising Kayla, so they have that very tight-knit bond, and there is a drug problem in the town that they live in, and Kayla ends up finding a way to help out with busting the case. So even the subplots for this whole book is well written. This book made me cry. You know how when you watch a movie and you know it's going to make you cry, but it's so good and you get so invested and involved with the characters and just you feel like you're almost a part of it because it's so good? That's what this book reminds me of. Like every time I watch The Green Mile, I cry. I know I'm going to cry, but I love the movie so much that I end up watching it over and over and over again. That's what this book is for me. The storyline is just beautifully written and so well done that I will keep coming back. The way it progresses and the story plots, just everything, the way it's layered even, just all of it all together is beautifully done. I really, really suggest that everyone reads this book. It will make you cry because at the end, she only ends up being with one of the brothers, and there's a huge significant reason why. Even the epilogue, I turned into a blubbering mess the first time I ever read this book, because I read it first and then I listened to it, and then I read it again, and then I listened to it again. And then I listened to it again. Anyways, every single time I loved it even more. So for it being a taboo type of story and a menage type book, fantastic. Now for the smut in it, I mean, it is off the charts. It is not the whole story, of course, but it is involved with them coming together. It makes sense. It is not awkward. It is not weird. It is not described in a way that is uncomfortable. It is just really, really well done. Jacob Morgan really has a way of bringing stories out, and the way he narrates them, you can feel the emotions with him. You could differentiate between all of the characters and all of that. And then Brooke Bloomingdale, too. Like, she did so good pretty much at the same thing. She brought out all of the characteristics, the different emotions, the different storylines and plots. Like, you were able to keep up with her nicely. Like, her pauses between sentences, perfect. The transitions between male and female, perfect. Just all of it. The whole thing is well-rounded and amazing emotional book. 100% my favorite. Now, I don't own very many hard copy books, but if I were to ever get this book, I would want it to be signed and on display as like, I own this and it is signed type of thing. Let me know if you're going to get this book, or if you've read this book or going to read this book. I would love to keep the conversation going. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I really hope you have a fantastic day, and it was really good seeing you. Bye. I probably don't need more of this.